Hey everybody, this is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. Welcome to a new playthrough video. Today I am playing Arkham Horror, the card game. I am going to be playing the Circle Undone campaign, episode number 2, scenario 2, which is called At Death's Doorstep. I've gone ahead and upgraded my investigators deck. Each of them had 6 XP after the last scenario, so I burned all that XP upgrading their decks. I gave each one of them the Charisma card, which allows them to have 2 allies instead of 1. And I gave Daisy a bulletproof vest because she's weak in the strength area. And I gave Mark the Elder Sign amulet, which gives him 4 because he's weak in the sanity. So I try to always buff them up before I really start spending money on or XP on their cards. So they're both, he's at 9-9 and she is at 9-9. So I love that. All right, so scenario number 2. Let me go ahead and read the intro to it. This is from I guess a newspaper. 4 missing, whereabouts unknown. Residents of French Hill are still in a tizzy after the sudden disappearance of several guests and house staff from the home of Mr. Joseph Miger during the night of the annual Silver Twilight Charity Gala last Sunday. We are absolutely baffled as to how this could have happened, said Mr. Miger the day after the disappearances. That said, we are confident that Sheriff Engel and the Arkham Police will do their due diligence in finding the missing persons. There is still no evidence whatsoever as to the whereabouts of Miss Gabriella Misra, Mr. Jerome Davids, Mr. Valentino Rivas, and Mrs. Pennywhite, all of whom vanished halfway through the event and have not been seen since. The police are offering a substantial reward for any person or persons who come forward with information related to these disappearances. When asked whether the police were considering the case a homicide, Sheriff Engel had this to say: "There's no reason to suspect foul play is involved just yet. However, given the circumstances, we have to consider every possibility. No other attendees have come forward with statements concerning the gala which seem to finish without a hitch, despite the disappearances. So far, none of the prominent members of the Silver Twilight Lodge have expressed any concern about the lodge's upcoming benefit dinner, which was recently moved to the same location, Joseph Miger's estate in French Hill. I am certain that this event will be a smashing success," Mr. Miger told the Arkham Advertiser in an interview yesterday. "There is no reason for the fair residents of Arkham to worry." All right, here's the catch-up. You fold up the newspaper and shove it aside on your desk, examining the other files you've collected over the last few days concerning the missing persons. It has been several days since your experience in the woods. You have tried to put it all out of mind, but it is impossible. Every night you dream of a nameless place in a void of space, a faint, discordant melody of hypnotizing flutes pulling you forward. Now there are others disappearing from the town without a trace. The disappearances dance along the edges of your thought. No reason to worry, you ponder, turning the man's words over in your head. You think of the card reader and her warning, and you wonder if you are simply imagining devils where there are none. Regardless, there is only one way to know for sure. You pick up the invitation, examining the silver embossed stationery and perfect calligraphy. The Silver Twilight Lodge requests the pleasure of your company on the evening of November the 29th at 8 o'clock at the estate of Joseph Eckerd Miger, Esquire, for the benefit of the Fairchild Foundation. As you prepare for the night ahead, you cannot help but wonder, are you taking action to remedy your fate, as the soothsayer advised, or are you walking willingly into the jaws of a grim destiny? All right, that is it. I will go ahead. I've gone ahead and shuffled the event deck, laid out the cards, put the clues. Even though I haven't flipped these yet, it told me to put a certain number of clues in certain locations. The 2 investigators, Daisy and Mark, begin at the entry hall, which starts with 5 clues on it. And let me go ahead and read you the act and the agenda, and then we'll draw their cards. All right, the agenda, excuse me. Justice, XI 11. Be true to yourself and seek the truth in others. You must balance the scales. You shall be called to account for your action. Silver Twilight enemies cannot be damaged or defeated. Forced. When you draw a monster enemy, instead of spawning it, set it aside out of play and place a doom on this agenda. This effect can cause the agenda to advance. And this one takes 8 doom to advance. The act, which I do want to forward, hidden agendas. As you approach the patio of the Miger estate, a man in an elegant suit checks your invitation at the door. Inside, guests mingle and chat with one another, but much of the conversation is awkward and terse. A silent tension has gripped the manor, and you are not sure why. Objective: find information about the disappearances by discovering as many clues as you can. Do not advance until instructed. Hint: it may be worthwhile to investigate the last known locations of the missing persons. Well, those are where these two are located. Remember, the two characters I played died. They're not missing persons. So I don't get clues in their ending locations. So I've got 5 and 5, 10 clues in all, and I'll need to investigate these. All right, I've shuffled all the cards. I gave them their 5 resources, and it is time to go. Daisy will go first. Let me go ahead and draw her cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And she's got Burning the Midnight Oil, Scrying, Forbidden Tome, Encyclopedia, and Seeking Answers. If you succeed in serving, that's not going to help me right now. Spend a secret, choosing that. I'll keep that one. Keep that one. Keep and keep. I'll keep all 4 of these. Get rid of this one. Do not draw a weakness. I drew a weakness. Discard all your resources. Oh, man. Okay. Well, she starts with no resources and 4 cards. I knew that was going to happen. Mark, let's draw his. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And gun, yes. Resources, guard dog, dexterity, and steadfast. Oh, all these are good. All these are good. I'm not going to get rid of any of those. And yeah, let's do that. You know what? I forgot to put these back in. I was looking for his permanent. Actually, I keep doing it again. I was looking for his charisma card, which is permanent. And I pulled it, and where is it? Where's his charisma? Oh, duh! It's already out. I put it out. It was hers that I was looking for. Oh well, never mind. Just losing my mind a little bit this morning. Okay, so I need to get the clues. This does not advance, and it just says advance when you're told to. So I'm not sure what that's going on there. Daisy will go ahead and it's got a 3 shroud. Let's go ahead and see how many I can get. So she's got a 5 investigate versus 3. So for her first action, do I want to get anything out? Nah. 5 versus 3. I did. I got 1. All right. Second action, 5 versus 3. I got it again. All right. And 5 versus 3. Ooh, tombstone. -2. 5 versus 3. If you fail, and this is an attack or evasion, resolve each haunted ability. Okay, not haunted, and I didn't fail. So she got 3 clues, which is excellent. And that is the end of her turn. Mark, he's not so good at investigating. So let's get some of his resources out. I will play 45 automatic for 4. And it's got 4 ammo on it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the guard dog costs 3. I do not have 3, but I do have emergency cash. So second action, I will play that to get 3 resources. And now he has enough to play guard dog as an ally. Pay 3. All right, and that is Mark's turn. All right, so no enemies. So upkeep phase. They each get a resource. And, sorry, my voice is going this morning. Mark draws a card. He gets guts. I'll take that. And Daisy gets to draw 2 and keep 1. She gets Seleno fragments and Old Book of Lore. Ooh, which of these should I do? Okay, choose an investigator. This one benefits any investigator. I will keep it and get rid of this one. All right, that is the end of the upkeep phase. I place a Doom token. There is 1 out of 8 now. And let's see, who went first? Daisy went first. So she draws Lodge Neophyte. Humanoid cultist. Spawn. Any empty location. It's aloof, meaning if you don't attack it, it doesn't attack you. Forced. After it enters play, place a doom on it. And as an action, you can parley. Test 2 will. If you succeed, remove all doom. Okay, I'm going to put it in the billiards room only because I'm going there. So save myself a trip. So I'll put 1 doom on it. So now there's 2 doom in play. And that's Daisy's draw. Mark's draw is Crypt Chill. Test 4 will. If you fail, choose and discard 1 asset. Oh, man. I can contribute guts for 2. That brings him up to 3, 4, 5. Does Daisy have anything? 5. Don't want to get rid of that. But this Forbidden Tome, I'm going to get rid of. 6 versus... They're in the same location, so she can contribute a card. 6 versus 4. Not great, but I'll take it. And I did. I passed it, so he does not have to get rid of an asset. All right, that's excellent. All right, it is Daisy's turn. Let's have Mark lead the way. Mark will move. I can move here to the Victorian halls. Flip it over. It has no clues and 4 shroud. You go looking for trouble. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a silver twilight enemy is discarded. Spawn that in Victorian halls. Then gain 2 clues from the token pool. Okay. So discard until I get a silver twilight enemy. No. 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 Nope. 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 Man. Okay, here we go. Silver Twilight, Humanoid, any emptiness, aloof, and retaliate. Forced. When the mythos phase ends, place 1 doom here. Parley, test 3 knowledge. If you succeed, remove all doom. Okay. So this one spawns here. It does not engage. It's aloof. So for his first action, he moved here. And it says, forced, when the mythos phase ends. The mythos phase hasn't ended yet, so we don't put 1 here. Discard cards, and then spawn an enemy, then gain 2 clues. Alright, so Mark gets 2 clues. 3, he's got 2. He's probably not gonna be able to succeed. So why waste 1? So let's move to, you know what, I want to keep them together. I've got plenty of time on the agenda, so let's go ahead and have him draw a card for he moved. Second action, he'll draw a card, he gets Beat Cop, and it costs 4, so I will get a resource for his third and final action, and he is done. Alright, Daisy. Daisy doesn't have anything that will give her an extra clue, so she'll have to spend 2 and then move, and then maybe she can parley with this guy. Alright, so Daisy will investigate for her second action. 5 versus 3. 5 plus 1 is 6, so she gets a clue. And her second action, 5 versus 3. 5 plus 1, and I get the last one. And then I'm going to have her move here, and that is the end of her turn. Alright, there are enemies, but they don't do anything. Upkeep phase, these flip. And they each get a resource. And Mark draws a card. He gets Stand Together. Okay. And Daisy gets 2 and has to take 1. Flashlight or Hyper Awareness. I love Flashlight. Very good for lowering that shroud. I will take that. So now I put a doom here. And this says when the Mythos phase ends. The Mythos phase just started, but I'm going to go ahead and put one here just because. All right, so who went first? Mark went first, so he draws a card. Lodge Neophyte. Spawn at any empty location. Well, let's put it here. And it begins with a doom. Now, here's the problem. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of 8, so I got to get rid of some of these doom. Okay, and now Daisy draws. And another Lodge Neophyte. Put it in an empty location. Well, I'll put here. Man, these guys are everywhere. Okay, and that is the end of the doom phase. So I've got 4, 5, 6. Oof, all right. And when the Mythos phase ends, so this guy will keep getting a doom token, so I got to get him out. All right, so it is Daisy's turn. She will parley with this one. Test 3. She's 5. I'm going to get rid of scrying. I hate to do it, but that'll knock it up to 6 versus 3. Six minus 2. I've passed it. All right, so this doom goes away. Now the problem is it will come back unless I fight him and kill him, which I don't want to do. I don't want to start picking fights right now. So this is going to be interesting. All right, so for the first action, she parleyed. Second action, she'll move. And third action, she'll parley with this guy, and it's 3 will. Her will is 3. You know what? Before she probably move. I'm going to move here, and that is the end of her turn. Parley, move. Yeah, but she gets to reveal this card to see what's here. The billiards room. It started with 5 clues, and it says, as an action, test 3 agility to compete with other guests. If you succeed, gain 1 clue. Okay, so you're playing billiards in the room. All right. Don't need to do that right now, but she is done. It is Mark's turn. Mark's will is 3. So he could parley with this guy and this guy to keep them 1, 2, 3. So he'll move here for 1. He's going to parley with this guy. So his 3 versus 2. I'm going to play Steadfast, which says when you have 10 or more total sanity and health, I have 14, it gains 2 will. So this donates 3 will. So he's 6 versus 2. 6 versus 2. I just don't want the auto fail. 6 versus 2. 6 plus 1 is 7, so I get to remove this one. All right, so he moved, he parleyed, and then he's going to move again. Do I want to move here? There's probably nothing here. But there could be clues. Let's move here for his third and final action. Nope, no clues. All right, discard card as an action. Discard cards from your hand with a total of at least 3 investigate icons. Parley. The guests here know more about the Silver Twilight Lodge than they let on. Gain 2 clues. Well, I don't have any cards to donate, so that's not going to work. So he is done. The enemies don't do anything. They just stay put. So it is upkeep phase. This flips. This flips. He gains a resource. She gains a resource. He gets a card. Play after you defeat an enemy, draw 2 cards, and she draws 2 Cryptic and Overpower. I will play Cryptic, or I'll get a Cryptic Writing. So, let's do, Alright, so that's the end of that. It's the Doom phase. So I place a Doom token here. I place one again on Keeper of Secrets. These guys do not get an extra Doom token. And then Daisy went first, so she draws Terror in the Night. Test for will. If you fail, put it into play next to the agenda. If you fail by 3 or more, it gains Surge. If there are ever 3 copies of Terror of the Night next to the agenda, discard them, and each investigator takes 3 horror. Ooh. Okay, will. Well, unfortunately, the only thing I can contribute to help that is my old book of lore, for 1. So I will do that, and that makes it 4 versus 4, straight even. 4 versus 4. I got the Elder Sign, which is +0. So, and you get, draw a card for each tome. Well, I don't have a tome in place, so darn it. Okay, that is Daisy's turn. It is now Mark's. Mark draws Nether Mist. Prey, investigator at the location with the most clues. That would be Daisy. It's aloof. Nether Mist location gains Haunted. Nether Mist attacks you. So, when an area is haunted, if you fail a skill test of any kind, you have to do what the haunted tells you. So this is haunted. Yeah. So let me just confirm that. Haunted. Each time an investigator fails a skill test, such as investigate or parley, after applying, investigator must resolve haunted. Okay. All right, well, that's okay. And I don't think I can get rid of that. It does not appear to... Oh, you can defeat it. Sorry. Yeah, it's a creature that you can fight. But right now it's aloof, and I want to leave it alone. All right, first thing I need to do is get that Doom token off, because right now there's 6 Doom in all. So she will parley with this, test will. She's 3 will. Man. Her first action is 3 versus 2. And 3 minus 2 is 1. It's not an attack, so she does fail it. I will try again. 3... 3 versus 2. I'm going to try one more time. 3 versus 2. 3 minus 1 is 2, so I get to remove this. And he just stays there. Now, for her third and final action, I'm going to play Flashlight for 2. And it has 3 uses on it. And she is done. Alright, Mark. Mark will go 1 action, 2 actions. Do I want to fight and beat this guy? I could, because he's got 2 health. I'm going to fight the Keeper of Secrets. I'm going to use a bullet. So I get +1 fight and +1 damage. He's only got 2 health, so if I win, I kill him. His fight is 5 + 1 is 6 versus 4. Do I want to bump that up? I do not. 6 versus 4. 6 versus 4. 6 + 1 is 7, so he loses the Doom, and he goes away. Doesn't give me any victory points, so he goes back in the discard pile. So Mark moved, and fought, so he is done. So both of them have moved. No more enemies. And upkeep phase. These flip. Each get a resource. And Mark draws a card. He gets Safeguard, and she gets 2. Explosive Ward and Connect the Dots. I'm going to get rid of Connect the Dots only because it allows you to discover clues at another location, and there aren't any. It's just this one. So, Explosive Ward, if I play it, I can pay a cost with resources, and it does damage equal to X. But it says X cannot be greater than the number of empty arcane slots you have. I don't know how many arcane slots you get. I'll have to look at that. I don't usually play spellcasters, so I'm not sure. So I'll put that in my hand, and she is done. Alright, it is now the Doom phase. Place a token. There are 5 out of 8. So, and now Daisy went first, so she draws. Whispers in the Dark. Put it into play next to the agenda deck. Each location gains haunted, so now everything is haunted. Forced, when the round ends, discard it. Okay, so all locations are... Oh, and by the way, she failed a test earlier, so this would have attacked me. So it does 1 and 1. Totally forgot that. So she takes 1 sanity and 1 damage. Alright. And now, again, everything is haunted, so don't fail any tests. Daisy drew, so now it is Mark's turn. He draws Wraith, Hunter. It is with him. When Wraith is defeated, instead of discarding, attached to the location. Attached location gains haunted, spawn Wraith. So if you fail a test here, it comes back. So this engages with Mark, and that's all I got. So I'm going to go ahead and kill it. Or it's Mark's turn. I will fire a bullet. I am 6 versus 2, and I get +1 damage. Six versus 2. 6 plus 1 is 7, so no worries about the Wraith. It gets killed. Now, it will come back if you do a skill test here, but I don't plan on doing that. So, Mark's first one was to fight. His second one will be to move, and he's going to parley with this to try to get rid of this Doom. His will is 3 versus 2. I can contribute Safeguard to make it 4 versus 2. Now remember, the whole house is haunted right now, so... Four versus 2. 4 minus 1 is 3, so I did it, so this goes away. And Mark, he fought, he moved, he parleyed, so he is done. She did not go yet. Alright. His gun has 2 more bullets. I could get up here and fight this to get rid of it, but we'll see. Alright, so Daisy has the billiards room. She needs to get a lot of clues. So, let's go ahead and investigate. She is 5 versus 3, but I'm going to spend a flashlight resource to knock this down to a 1. 5 versus 1. So her first action is an investigate. 5 versus 1. Ooh, what is this? -1, -3 if you're in haunted. It is. 5 minus 3 is 2, so I still beat it. She gets a clue. Alright, 5 versus 1 for her second action. I did get it, alright? And then third and final action, 5 versus 1. Ooh, auto fail. So you fail. Haunted. It attacks me again. Darn it. Okay. Wow. Okay. And that is the end of her turn. Alright. This is still not engaged me. It's aloof. As long as I don't attack it, it doesn't come at me. So, no enemies. These guys flip over for upkeep. 1 resource and 1 resource. And he draws a card. He gets True Grit. And she draws 2 cards. Fingerprint Kit and Barricade. I will take the Fingerprint Kit. Although, yeah, I will use that one. Alright. Place a Doom token. Now there are 5 out. 5. And Mark went first, so he draws Obscuring Fog. Attached to your location, it's +2 Shroud. Don't really care. Daisy draws Shadow Hound. Prey. Lowest Agility. Well, that would be her. So it does attach to her. It's a hunter forced. After Shadowhound attacks you, resolve each haunted ability at your location. Ooh, okay, so I got to kill this. All right, so now it is my investigator's turn. So Mark will move for one action. He will engage the Shadowhound from Daisy, and he will use a bullet to fight it. He gets... Does he have any extra damage? I do not. Alright. He is 5, 6 versus 2, and he does +1 damage. 6 versus 2. 6 plus 1 is 7, so he puts 2 damage out of the 3. Bullet goes away. Now, I'm not going to burn that last bullet. However, let's see. You get +1. Choose another. Nope. Okay, so he will just fight it straight up. He's 5 versus 2 now. Five minus 1 is 4, so he does manage to kill it. And I have a card that I'm going to pay 1. It's a fast. And it says, play after you defeat an enemy, draw 2 cards. So 1, machete, 2, evidence. Okay. So he moved, he engaged. Oh, he couldn't have fought it the second time. You know what? I got to put those back. And I got to take this back, and I got to put this back because he doesn't get an extra action. So he only was able to do 2. 2 damage on it. So he is done. He moved, he engaged, he fought. That was his 3 actions. All right, sorry about that. Daisy needs to get these last 2 clues. Now remember, she played Flashlight, and it says your location gets -2 Shroud for this investigation. So I will pay it again. Technically, she shouldn't have been able to do that second one with the Shroud, but she still beat it, so it's okay. It's per investigation. So 5 versus 3, or 5 versus 1, excuse me. She got the Elder. She does not have a tome out. However, she didn't have that. So she gets 1 clue. That was her first action. For her second action, she's going to play Encyclopedia for 2, and it gets 5 uses. And for her third and final action, she will exhaust it, spend a secret. She gets +2, so she's 7 versus 3. Oop, let me put that one back in. 7 versus 3. 7 minus 2 is 5. So she does get another clue, but it's not the last one. And she is done. Alright, it is the creature phase. The Shadowhound attacks Mark for 1. Now, the guard dog says, when an enemy attack deals damage to guard dog... Oh, never mind. I can put it on the guard dog, and it says, when an enemy attack deals damage to the guard dog, deal 1 damage back, and that will kill the Shadowhound. Alright, and then I can play, after you defeat an enemy, draw 2 cards. 1, 2. So I get them anyway. Alright, that was done. Okay.
Check out the new RPG and Wargame newsletter. Each week, the Tabletop Engineer shares news, products, Kickstarters, and much more related to the gaming hobby. It's free to subscribe, so check out the link in the video description below to sign up.
So that was the attack. That was the enemy phase. These enemies aren't engaged. So we put a Doom token. Now there are 6 out of 8. And Daisy went first. Didn't she? Yeah, she went first. No, Mark went first. He fought this thing. Mark went first. He draws Terror in the Night. Test for Will. If you fail, put it into play next to the agenda. If you fail by 3 or more, it gains Surge. So Will is 3. I will contribute Stand Together to make it 4. And I'm going to get rid of True Grit and make it 5. 5 versus 4. 5 minus 1 is 4, so I did do it. If you tie it, it's the same. It beats it. Okay, Daisy draws. Fate of all fools. Ooh, this is a new one. Peril, revelation, you must decide. Choose one. If there is no other copy of Fate of all fools in play, put it into play in your threat area. Okay, there is not, so I guess I have to. An investigator with another copy of Fate of Fools in his can take 2 direct damage or place 1 doom on another copy. So I have to put this in my play area. All right. Okay, that is the end of the doom phase. It is now my turn. I haven't figured out how to advance this yet. That's odd. Okay, well, and I did reveal this. I haven't revealed that one. I wonder if I've got to go up there and look at it. All right. Well, let's. Mark could go and reveal it. He could go. He's here, so he could go move, move, move. So I forgot to flip them over. I also forgot to do the upkeep phase. Let's see. They each get a resource. Mark draws Perception. She draws Research Librarian and Charisma. I will play... Shoot. Well, Charisma should have been out. It's permanent. So I get Curiosity or Research Librarian. I'm going to play... I already have an ally that I could put into play. I thought I did. No, I don't. I do not have an ally, so I will keep Research Librarian and get rid of Curiosity. Okay, so I did that, I drew, so now it is Daisy's turn. Alright, Mark. Mark will move 1, 2, 3 to reveal this. There are 2 clues here, excellent. Shroud of 4, however it says, each silver light enemy in the office... Oh, each enemy loses aloof. Oops. This one's going to attack me. Revealed. If you reveal A in any of the special symbols while investigating the office, place 1 doom on the nearest silver twilight enemy. Okay, each silver twilight loses aloof. Alright, so they are going to start moving towards me. This one will move towards Mark. This one will move towards her. This one's already here. So that's not good. Wow. So the first thing I have to do, since they're no longer aloof, that means this one engages with, this is not a silver light enemy, so it stays aloof. Silver twilight. So this one engages me, so I've got to fight it. Luckily, she has Explosive Ward, which does give me 2 fight. Versus spending money, which I don't want to do. So I will play this for 2 fight. So I'm at 4 fight versus 3. It's only got 1 health. So if I win, I beat him. 4 versus 3. Auto fail. Oh. All right. So I lost the ability to fight him, so about the only thing I can do now is try to evade him. I will try to evade. I've got 2. I'll contribute this to make it 3 versus 2. 3 versus 2. Oh, and by the way, I'm haunted. I'm at a haunted area, so I lose this. So when I'm haunted, it attacks me 1 and 1. Man, because I failed that. Remember? All right. Now I do it again. 4. What did I say? 3 versus 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. I failed it. I take another damage. And another sanity loss. Ah! Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use... I should have used the encyclopedia to get the +2. I would have made it. Actually, +2... I auto-failed the first one, so I couldn't have used this. So yeah, so I will not fail that. I will choose to use the encyclopedia and a secret to gain +2, which means I I evade this one. That was her second action. If she gets the third clue, he's going to engage again, so I might want to get out of here. But if I move here, this one's going to engage me. So let's go ahead and get that last clue. Actually, let's get a research librarian out for 2. And it says, after he enters play, search your deck for a tome and add it to your hand. And then shuffle the deck. Let me get a tome out of here. Which ones do I want? Grim Memoir. Necronomicon. I don't want that one. That's a weakness. Medical text. I will take the medical text. Absolutely. And then I can heal some of that. And then I have to shuffle my deck. Alright. Shuffled, and she is done. That was her third and final action. He can't do a whole lot here. So on his turn, these are going to move. This one's going to move here. This one's going to move here. So I'm going to move here for one action. Oh, hold on. Oh no, this stays put. It's only when a haunted that this goes. So maybe I want to leave. Maybe I don't want to trigger the Wraith. So 1, 2, and I will attack. This one's going to move towards Daisy. Let's do this. 1, 2. We'll move here and fight this one. All right. Fight is 5 versus 3. 5 versus 3. Do I have anything I want to use? I've only got 1 bullet left. 1. No. I'll contribute the machete. I hate to do it, but I gotta get him. 6 versus 3. Although, if I just fight him straight up, all I do is 1 damage. I'm going to keep the machete and just fight him straight up. 5 versus 3 for my third and final action. 1, 2, yeah. 5 versus 3. And that is 5 minus 2. I did not fail, so I do defeat this guy. And Mark is done. Now it is the enemy's turn. This one will ready and engage me again, and it does 1 insanity. I'll put that on the research librarian. The Nether Mist stays there, just floats. This one will move here. It's moving closer towards me. And that is it. That's it. Okay. So, Redium, upkeep phase, flip these over. Everybody gets 1 resource and a card. Mark gets Elder Sign Amulet. Okay, that's good to have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Daisy draws 2. Magnifying and Dr. Milan. I will take Dr. Milan because I can have 2 allies out now with my charisma card. Alright, that is the end of the upkeep phase. Place a Doom token. Here we go. 7 out of 8. Oh, hold on. Forced. If you reveal, okay, that's while you're here. If you reveal each silver door in the office, if you reveal in. So, okay, so I've kept the Twilight people from gaining Doom. Okay, so I put the Doom token. Now, who went first? It was Daisy, then Mark moved and did, right? Isn't that right? Yeah. So Daisy went first. She draws Fate of All Fools. So there's already 1 out. So now I have to decide. An investigator with another copy can take 2 direct horror, or you place 1 Doom on another copy. Ooh. I'll take the 2 horror. I don't want to forward the Doom yet. So she's got 5. Is it direct horror? It's direct damage. not horror, damage. So I better not do that, because that would kill her. So instead, I don't have a choice. I have to place a doom. And when I place this doom here, it triggers this. Yep. All right. So 7 and 8. You have uncovered some of the evidence pertaining to the disappearances, but the truth has yet to be revealed. If the investigators do not possess 6 clues, I've got 3, 6, 9. If the investigators possess at least 6 clues, they must spend 6 and spawn the set-aside Joseph Miter enemy at the location other than the entry hall that is farthest from all investigators. All right, so Joseph Miter is here. He has retaliate, so he starts here. The farthest from me is the balcony, because this one's 1, 2, this one's 1, 2, 3. All right, so he starts here. All right, spawning there. Open the campaign guide and proceed to Interlude 1, a record of those lost. Once this interlude has been resolved, remove all clues from each location in play and advance to 1B. All right, hold on, let me do that. So Interlude, what was it, Interlude 1A, a record of, I love this game. Okay, Interlude 1, a record of those lost. Do not read this interlude unless you're instructed to do so. Check the missing person section of the campaign log. In order, read the sections below for each of the characters whose profile is... All right, so the only 2 missing is Gabriella and Valentino. So let me read Gabriella's. If her profile is not crossed off and there are no clues in the entry hall, there are not. Read this. The entry hall to the manor is beautifully decorated, but you find it odd that the grand staircase's wooden balustrade has been recently repaired, and, by the looks of it, hastily so. While nobody is looking, you follow the handrail up and down the stairs until you spot what you are looking for. Several splinters of wood, perhaps dislodged by a bullet. You ascend the staircase once more and position yourself where one would need to be standing in order to fire such a shot. After a moment of observation, a faint glimmer near one of the decorative ferns on the second floor catches your eye. There you find proof, a bullet casing from a .45 handgun. A gun was indeed fired in the entry hall of the manor, but if that is true, how did nobody hear the shots? Under missing persons, next to Gabriella's profile, record investigators are on Gabriella's trail. All right, so I get to record some more information. Of course, I don't have a pen, do I? Yeah, I do. So I am, what does it say? On Gabriella's trail. All right, that's good. And then I also, Valentino, if Valentino Riva's profile is not crossed off and there are no clues in the billiard room, there's one clue, so I don't get to read that. Once each relevant entry has been read, advance to 1B. Darn it, one clue. All right, well, that's okay. Now I go to 1B, or Agenda 1B, I believe it said, right? Come on. All right, this says to Act 1B. All right, so I get to forward to Act 1B. So I flip this over to 1B. Before you can investigate further, the building is suddenly plunged into darkness. All of the lights flicker once and are snuffed out. A thick, otherworldly mist begins to seep into the corridors, causing everything it touches to decay. Move each investigator and each enemy currently in the entry hall to the Victorian Hall. That's here. All right, so she gets moved here. This gets moved here. And move each investigator and each enemy currently in the entry hall. Oh, no. She was here. He was... Where was he? He was here. Currently in the entry hall to the Victorian Hall. So I don't have to move here. So these people can stay the same. Okay. For each location in play, find the set-aside spectral version of that location and swap them. All tokens and cards are now considered to be at the new location. If there's an investigator, reveal it. If there's an investigator, okay, so all the spectral cards, which are these, Victorian Hall is now hidden. Great. You only reveal it if there's an investigator. Entry Hall is hidden. Office is hidden, but there's 2 clues on it, or there were. Let's see. Balcony is here, so that goes away. Billiards room is here, and there's still 1 clue on it. And master bedroom, where is that? Right here. And trophy room, which is now here, and it gets revealed because Mark is there. And this one gets revealed because she is there. And it says there's 2 additional clues, so there's 3 there. Mark's location has no clues. Alright, so now basically the whole house is haunted. That's what's happened. Alright, if there's in player order, each investigator spawns one of the set-aside monster enemies at his or her location until each of the set-aside monsters has been spawned. Alright, so this is where I made a mistake. The first one had said that if you spawn monsters, they don't go, they just get set aside. So the monsters I spawned were the Wraith and the Shadow Hound. So even though I fought them, I shouldn't have fought them. They are now back. Now how do I want to do that? Because I've already beaten them. I've used my bullets. Spawn the set-aside Spectral Watcher. You know what? I'm going to pretend that I defeated them, because I have spent the bullets on them, and I would have gotten further the clue. If I weren't fighting them, I would have done other stuff. So I'm just going to play it up that they're defeated and they go here, and then we'll just pick up here. Spawn the set-aside Spectral Watcher. What is that? Is that this? Spawn it. Spawn it in the entry hall, so it's here. Shuffle the remainder of the set-aside Watcher encounter and the set-aside Realm of Death, which were these, into the encounter along with the discard. So these will go back in along with this and this. So the deck gets basically reshuffled again. Alright, no worries there. What you try to do is when you make a mistake, you just try to fix it, but you also don't try to give yourself any kind of advantage. I don't think I am there. I'm still down bullets. I still took damage, here, so it's all good. And I think that is it. So what happened was, because I drew the Fate of All Fools card again, it caused the agenda to advance. That was Mark drawing that. And I don't believe I drew Daisy's card. So let's read Act 1B, which now takes 8 clues to advance. Oh, and I think I get rid of all these clues. Isn't that what it said? If investors spend 6 clues and spawn the 7. Okay, so I have to spend 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So she still has 3 left. And Mark has 2, so that's not bad. And then Act 2A. In the blink of an eye, everything has changed. A sudden oppressive silence fills the halls of Joseph Miger's mansion. Gone is the din of idle chatter from the banquet hall, the clinking of glasses, the laughter of oblivious guests. Save for only you and several others, all the people in the house have vanished without a trace. All that is left is the dark mist and the beings that inhabit it. All right. Takes 8 clues to advance that. So, if I get those 3, I can do this. Now, the mist is still hanging here, although she does have the Lodge Neophyte is now engaged with her. She's going to have to defeat it in order to get these clues. Mark can help This one, which one's the spectral one? Is it this? Yeah, it's this. Oh, Mark does have clues there. Okay, hold on. Mark's location has 2 clues and a shroud of 2. He's still better off helping Daisy. So let's do this. For his action, he will move here. That's one action. I will engage the Lodge Neophyte for the second action, and then I will fight him. I'll use the bullet, and I get +1 fight, so I'm at 6 versus 3, and it does 2 damage. 6 versus 3. 6 minus 1 is 5, so the Lodge Neophyte dies. Now Joseph's just going to hang here on the balcony. All right. That is, he moved, he engaged, and he fought. So he is done. So he can't play any cards. Now it's up to Daisy to get these clues. So she's only got 3. When I drew Cryptic, I was supposed to instantly play it to gain 2 resources. Didn't do that. Alright, so now she has 3 resources. Did I do the... Yeah, I did the upkeep, yeah. Alright, so she's only got 3. So... I'm going to play Medical Texts for 2. And it's got... As an action, she's an investigator, test 2, investigate. If you succeed, heal a damage, which could come in handy for her if I need it. But right now, I need to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All I need is 1 more clue. No, I don't. I need 8. So let's go ahead and investigate. And it's 5. Oh, this should have undone. Let's do I want to use the flashlight? Let's not use the flashlight. Let's use the encyclopedia. So 7 versus 3. Seven minus 3 is 4, so I do get a clue, and she is done. Alright, on the enemy phase, this Neophyte will move here. The Spectral Watcher Watcher is a hunter, so it will move here. Actually, no, hold on. They all gain... the aloof goes away. That's right. So now they will move towards the nearest... Actually, no. He stays here. He's not aloof, but he stays there. This one moves. That's what it is. Okay. The aloof just means when I enter here, it will... the lack of aloof means it will engage me, but it stays here otherwise. All right. Joseph Miger, as an action, if no other Silver Twilight enemy has Doom on it, parley, test for investigate to convince him that this is not your doing. If you fail, he attacks you. If you succeed, flip this card over and resolve. I got to get down here and talk to him. Okay, so the enemy moves, so now it's upkeep. This flips, that does not attack. We get a resource each. Mark's got tons of resources. He draws a card, evidence. She draws 2, curiosity, and this is okay. One of the cards from my Circle Undone is missing. It didn't come in the pack. Fantasy Flight will not replace it. Thank you. I emailed them and they don't do that. So I put a substitute card in to represent it. It's red, but this card is called, I took a picture of it off the internet or a screenshot so I could play it. Let me, this card is called Ace of Rods. So I either got Ace of Rods or Curiosity. Ace of Rods says, as a fast action during your turn, remove it from the game. You may take an additional action and you get +2. So I will take that. So I'm going to hold that here just so I remember it's in my hand. And now we place a Doom token, 1 out of 11. Mark went first, so he draws Trapped Spirits. Test 3 agility. For each point you fail, take a damage. If your location is haunted, the whole house is haunted, as an additional cost for an investigator to commit one or more cards to this skill test, he or she must resolve each haunted ability. Hold on. If your location is haunted, so if I want to play a helpful card, he or she must resolve the haunted. Haunted here says you must discard an asset or take 1 damage. Well, you know what? Let's see if I've got a card to contribute. I'm doing a agility, and I do have a card I want to contribute. So I will contribute this card for 2. Now my agility is at 5, but it says I must resolve the haunted. The haunted says discard an asset or take a damage. I will take a damage. I don't want to get rid of an asset. Although I could get rid of the gun. But I'm not going to. All right. Because I do have a card that I think says give me extra ammo, so we'll see if maybe that one will show up at some point. All right, so Mark drew this, and I got to do the agility test. So it's 3 plus, what did I contribute? 2, 5 versus 3. 5 minus 2 is 3, so I do it. So that goes away. Now, Daisy draws Watcher's Grasp. Heal 3 damage from the Spectral Watcher. Well, Spectral Watcher is not damaged. It moves, engages, and attacks as if it were the enemy phase. It moves. Throughout the resolution of this effect, the Spectral Watcher gains prey, you. Oh boy! So it will move. It moves, engages, and attacks as if it... So it will move. It's not to me yet. It moves, but it can't engage or attack because I'm not there. Revelation. And now it has prey you. So it's coming for Daisy. Oh. Okay, so now it is my turn. Mark needs to ready for this guy. Okay. It's Mark's turn. I will play Machete for my first action for 3. Gives me +1 fight, and if I'm the only enemy engaged, I get +1 damage. And then I'm going to play Beat Cop, my second ally, for 4, and he gives me +1 fight. I can discard him and deal an extra damage to an enemy at my location. Alright, that is all Mark can do. So he played Machete. Hold on. He played Machete. Then he played Beat. He's got one more action. Sorry. What do I want to do here? I'm going to let him come to me, and then it will engage with Daisy. Or if I move to here, it automatically engages me and will not attack Daisy, but then it will attack me for 1. I'm going to do that. I'm going to move. Well, hold on. Haunted. So if I lose a skill test, I lose 2 resources. For each resource you cannot lose, you take a horror. But I really need to keep this guy away from Daisy. So I will do that. I will move here, and that is the end of my turn, which means this will engage me. All right, that's Mark. Now, Daisy. Do I want those clues? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need them. I need them. All right, I've only got 2 resources, so I can't play this. But this gives me that +2, and I get an extra action. So I will play this, and it says, remove it from the game. Remove from the game. I don't know if that means, I think that means permanently. I don't think it means just this scenario. I'll have to check that. Alright, so I get +2 on my next action, and it says I get an extra action. So for my first action, I'm at +2, so I'm at 7 versus 3. 7, I got it. Alright, so there's number 7. And my second action is just 5 versus 3. I get 1 free action. So that was my free action. So now let's do action number 1. 5 versus 3. 5 minus 1 is 4, so I do get this. I will contribute all of my 8 clues to advance this. You find the corpse of one of the others trapped here, a member of the Silver Twilight Lodge. You surmise, although his outfit of blue and silver... a member of the Silver Twilight Lodge, you surmise, although his outfit of blue and silver robes suggests something more esoteric. Gripped tightly in his withered hands is a small tome bearing the insignia of the lodge. Browsing through its pages, you were surprised to find all manner of information regarding the mist and the creatures you have encountered, including a spell to release the bonds of death and escape the mist. How long has this man been here studying this realm? Regardless, at least you have a way out now. The mist blocking your escape recedes. Reveal the entry hall. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. So these go back in. The entry hall has the resign option. So if I can get there, I basically can escape the house. Okay. It has no clues or anything on it. So I need to go talk to him and then get out. I think that's basically the idea. While Mark deals with this creature. Alright, so Daisy's just took her first action. Her second action, I'm going to have her move 2. This guy's going to attach to her and attack her if I move there. So let's just stay put for now. And for her third action, she will gain a resource. And she is done. Alright. Mark engaged this. So, it is now the enemy's phase. This stays put, this stays put. This one does 1 damage to the dog and 1 horror to I'll take the horror to me. Now the dog says when an enemy attacks, deal a damage back. So the Spectral's already got 1 damage on him. Alright. Okay, so it attacked me. That's the end of its turn. Now it's upkeep phase. Flip these over. Resource. Mark gets a card. He gets Unexpected Courage. She draws 2. Bulletproof Vest and Arcane. I will take the Bulletproof Vest. I need that. Alright, that's the end of the upkeep phase. Place a Doom token. 2 out of 11. He does not get a Doom. Does this one get a Doom? No. Alright, so no Doom. Draw a card. Mark went first, so he draws Terror in the Night. Test for will. If you fail, put it into play here. If you fail by 3 or more, it gains Surge. My will is 3. I will put Unexpected Courage in to make it 5. 5 versus 4. Daisy could contribute. No, she can't. 5 versus 4. 5 minus 1 is 4, so he succeeds on that. Daisy draws Keeper of Secrets. Spawn at any empty location forced. When the Mythos phase ends, place a Doom on it. I'll put, and it's aloof, but this one says, after the hunter moves, after the hunter enemy moves stuff, each ready spectral enemy deals this damage. Okay. Alright. So, I will put it... I'll put it here. I think they all lost the aloof, right? Okay, so by the way, I forgot to read you the new agenda. Act 2A, and blink of an eye. Missed escapes. Okay, so that's done. I forgot to read you this. Does it over the threshold? Each Silver Twilight enemy gains victory 0. gains, so each Silver Twilight enemy. So this is not a victory 2 anymore, it's a victory 0. Great. And counts as an investigator for the purpose of determining where hunter enemies move. So now the bad guys are also going to hunt the Lodge Neophyte and Joseph. Nice. Forced. After the hunter enemies move step of the enemy phase, each ready spectral enemy deals its damage to each humanoid at its location. So it will also hurt him and him. Okay, interesting. And spectral, and I believe this is spectral. It is. All right, so the downside is I'm not here. So anyway, that's all right. When the Mythos phase ends, put a doom here. Okay, let's see. That was Daisy's turn. So now it is my turn. Mark needs to kill this. He has a machete, which gets +1 fight, and the cop gives him +1 fight. The machete gives him +1 damage because he's only engaged with one enemy. So he's 5, 6, 7 versus 3, and it does +1 damage. 7 versus 3. 7 plus 1 is 8, so I do 2 damage, and it's got 3 out of 5. So I'm going to attack it again. If I win this time, I'll kill it. So again, 5, 6, 7 versus 3. This is my second action. 7 versus 3. And I do. I kill it. The downside is it goes back into the discard because it does not have a victory on it. Mark has one more action. He will engage. He'll move, which means this engages. It's no longer aloof, so it will attack me, which is okay. Now Daisy needs to get to him. So she'll go 1, 2, and before I move to him, I am going to play Bulletproof Vest for 2, which gives me the ability to soak 4 damage. So I'm going to take 3 and put it on there. And that's all I can do. And she is done. All right. Mark went, and he's done. Okay, it is now the Doom phase. So I place a Doom here. I place one on here. And oh, shoot. I've got to get this Doom off so I can talk to him. Okay. All right, so Mark will have to go first and either kill him, well, kill both of them. All right. So, who went first? Mark went first. He draws. Hold on, I didn't do upkeep. So, this enemy attacks Mark and does 1 insanity. I'll put that on the beat cop. 1 horror, excuse me. Then, this one got its doom. This stays put. So now I put the doom there. Actually, I forgot to do upkeep. He draws a resource. She draws a resource. He draws a card. Dodge. She draws 2 and keeps 1. The Necronomicon is a weakness, so I have to put that into my play area with 3 horror on it. It cannot leave play while it has 1 or more horror on it. And I can only remove, as an action, I can move these off of the Necronomicon to her. And then if it has no horror on it, I can get rid of it. And by the way, while I'm holding it, if I draw an Elder Sign, it's treated as the auto-fail. Yeah. Okay. So, it is now. I put the doom. So, Mark draws first, right? Yeah, he went first. So, he draws Mysteries of the Lodge. Place 1 doom on the nearest cultist enemy. Well, that's the one with him. Then, until the end of the round, increase the difficulty to fight, evade, parley with that enemy by 2. If no doom is placed by this effect, Mysteries gain surge. Well, it did. Let me put 1 doom. Then until the end of the round, it's +2. So his fight is 2. His health, or his parley, is 4, and his agility is 4. So, man, 5 fight. Dude's got 5 fight. All right. Okay, and then Daisy draws Fate of All Fools, another one. An investigator must take 2 direct damage or place 1 doom on another copy. I will place a doom here. So now it's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 11. Ooh, okay. That is the end of that's the end of that. So, it is now Mark's turn. Mark needs to kill this guy. I mean, he could parlay for 4, but his investigate is not as good as his fight. So let's have him fight. He's 7 versus 5. 7 versus 5. Although he could parlay, he could, because it's 3 versus 4. This makes it 5 versus 4. Actually, no, that's a will thing. Never mind. Will, it's will, not investigate. Okay. So we will just do fight. 5, 6, 7 versus 5. 7 versus 5. All I need is a hit, and it kills him. 7 versus 5. 7 minus 2 is 5, so it kills it. The doom goes away. This guy goes up here. That was Mark's first action. His second action will be to move here and talk to this guy. So he got one more action. So Parley is 3 investigate. His investigate is 2, but he will contribute 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 versus 3 to Parley to get rid of that doom. And I succeed. It says +1 for each damage, so I did succeed. Alright, so this goes away, and they're just buddies now. So he is got no doom on him. And Mark's turn is over. So he fought, he moved, and he parlayed. Alright, so now we need to talk to him. So Daisy's turn. She moves here for 1 action. As an action, if no other Twilight enemy has doom on it, you can parley. Test 4 investigate. So she is at 5. I'll exhaust this to make it 6, 7. And 7. I got 2 more. I got 2 attempts. So let's do the first attempt. 7 versus 4. And I pass. Oh no! This is the auto fail. Because of the Necronomicon. This counts as the auto fail. Alright, so she failed it. So, oh no! Alright, for her third and final action, she'll do it again. She'll go, she can't exhaust this, so she's at 5, 6, 7. 7 versus 4 again. Can he help? He can. I'll contribute this. Oh, they're not at the same location. Never mind. 7 versus 4. Come on, don't draw that. 7 versus 4. 7 minus 1 is 6, so I do succeed in parlaying. You convince Joseph this is not your doing. Okay, so you flip it over and you read. Joseph lowers his weapon and studies you for a moment. Perhaps you are telling the truth, but if that is true, he ponders the situation, then holsters his weapon and checks his pocket watch. Regardless, we have little time. If my estimate is correct, the anomaly will recede soon. We must be out of the manor before that occurs, or we'll all be trapped here. You ask how he knows all this, but he merely shakes his head. This is not the time. Ask again if we make it out of here alive. Remove all doom from this card. For the remainder of the game, doom cannot be placed on Silver Twilight enemies, and Joseph gains aloof. Flip this card back to its enemy side and disengage it from all investigators. It says we must be out of the manor, but he doesn't become an ally, so you just got to assume that he makes it out. So she is done. That was her third and final action. So I got to get out of here. Now, fortunately, Mark is at the entry hall, so he can, as an action, resign. But before we do that, we have to do the enemy phase. Enemy phase, this one is not an enemy, So nothing happens. Upkeep, these flip over. I get a resource and a card and a card. Grievous Wound and 1 Daisy's Tote Bag and Guts. I will take the Guts. Put a Doom token. 4 out of 11. I think we're going to be good here unless something happens. Mark went first, so he draws. That went away. 4, he draws Shadowhound. So we have a Shadowhound engaged with him. Since its prey is the lowest, but since it appears here, does it engage with him? I think it does, since he's here and he's in his red, so it will engage with him. She draws Lodge Neophyte, any empty location. Well, you know what? I'll put you in the billiards room. Okay, my turn. Mark has the Shadowhound, so let's go ahead and fight it and kill it. Let's just say I don't know if it engages with him or not, but I'm going to engage it and then I'm going to fight it. So 5, 6, 7. 7 versus 2, and I do +1 damage. 7 minus 1 is 6, so I do 2 damage to it. And for his third and final action, he'll fight it one more time. Actually, I'm going to discard Beat Cop. It's a fast action, and it says you may deal 1 damage to an enemy, so that kills this guy. And for my third and final action, I will choose to resign, so I leave the manor. If each undefeated investigators resign, advance. All right, so he has resigned. All right, it is her turn. 1, 2, 3. She does not have any way to do an extra action. This could have been a bad choice to have Mark leave, but we will see. All right. Okay, so she is done. Enemy phase, this does not get Doom anymore. The Silver Twilight don't get Doom, but he doesn't engage or anything. We place a Doom. Actually, she gets to draw gets a resource and draws 2 cards. I'll do this one. And now we put the Doom on. 5, 6 out of 11, and she draws a card. Fate of All Fools. Well, I drew another one, so instead I will place another Doom on this one. 5, 6, 7, and now it's her turn. She will resign, and I get to forward this over. Coming to this place was a terrible mistake. You had hoped to uncover evidence pertaining to the disappearances of the estate, not become victims yourselves. As you tear through the entry hall and slam through the manor's heavy front doors, you vow to put as much distance between you and the Migra estate as you possibly can. Unfortunately, your plan is quickly derailed. Read Resolution 1. All right, let's read Resolution 1. Resolution 1. As soon as you emerge onto the patio, you are surrounded by grim men in trench coats. Several of them reach into their coat pockets, a warning not to do anything too hasty. Before any threats can be fulfilled, the silence is broken by an icy voice. Now, gentlemen, there is no need for that. The men withdraw to reveal an elderly man you recognize as Carl Sanford, the president of the Silver Twilight Lodge. Despite the dangerous situation, his expression is almost too casual. The complete lack of fear in his posture and his actions suggests a confidence backed by a substantial power. His bodyguards take several steps back, allowing you to speak with Mr. Sanford in private. In your campaign log, record investigators escaped spectral realm. All right, I will do that. Escaped spectral realm. Each investigator earns experience equal to the victory in the display. I don't think I got any victory this turn. He was victory 2, but this said that all Silver Lodge enemies gain victory 0. So I didn't get to him fast enough. So no XP for this scenario, and that's okay. All right, that is all I have for this game. Thanks for joining me as I played a game of Arkham Horror, The Circle Undone. I'll be back next week with scenario number 3. Until then, everybody, take care.